Welcome back to our Women in Leadership series presented by Dove and Cub. I'm your host, Jen Halverson, and today we have someone who needs no introduction, basketball legend Lindsay Whalen. If you've been MIA for the past 2 decades, Whalen holds University of Minnesota career records in points, scoring average, among many others. She led the Gophers to their first ever Final Four appearance back in 2004, is the only 4-time team MVP in school history, has 4 WNBA championship titles with the Lynx, 2 gold medals, and is now the current head coach for the Gophers women's basketball team. Welcome, Coach Whalen. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I played basketball back in the day, and my coaches were some of my biggest mentors. You know, I mean, you spend so much time with them. They're that authority figure in a different outlet in your life. How did mentors, affect you, whether it was coaches or other people early in your career, and how are you mentoring as a coach now?
Every coach I've had has had some impact in me as a coach now, and they had some impact on me as a player and as a person. Going back to high school with my high school coach, Andy Rosberg, my first coach at the U, Cheryl Littlejohn, then Brenda Fries, Pam Borton, everybody that before I got to the pros really had an impact. And then in the pros, it's a little different, but yet still Mike Tebow, Cheryl Reeve, Gino Ariema were there for me every day. I don't know, you take something away from them all the time because you're learning from them. You build a really close bond. There's a lot of trust there. And so, for me now as being the coach here, you want to have those types of relationships. You're gonna hold them accountable. You're gonna push them. You're gonna make them be the players that they want to be, and help them get to those goals. So,
in your tenure as an athlete and being a point guard, you're sort of the voice on the court for your team and the playmaker to get the plays going and start them off. What similarities, if any, have you seen between that role on your team and being, a seasoned player to being a coach now?
Yeah, I mean, as a point guard, you're the coach on the floor. So I think reading people, I think that's something that understanding how can I get somebody to a place where they're going to have a productive day, whether they're status quo every day and they're great. Some people are a little more up and down. In order to do that, though, I have to be consistent. I have to bring the same energy every day. And it's you can't have, as a coach, you really can't have a bad day. As a point guard, you really can't have a bad day. You can maybe not be, might not make every shot, or as a coach, I might not make every great play call, but you have to be that consistent voice of leadership in order to keep everybody moving forward.
And lastly, if you could give your younger self some advice, knowing what you know now, what would that be?
Don't get too down with the wins and losses. We're all very competitive, but it's about the experiences, it's about the people, it's about the journey, and not to let the tough losses linger for too long. Because and that's part of what made our teams at Minnesota with the Lynx and in Connecticut great, is that everybody hates to lose, but I think to just constantly remind myself that it's about the people and the process and not get so caught up in the wins and losses with every game.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lindsay, and good luck with your upcoming season.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
And thank you to Dove and Cub for their support of the Women in Leadership series.